Okay. Let's hope that things work out the way they're supposed to. I will be changing internet service providers this week. So I'm kind of done with the other people. I've been using them for years, though. Didn't have any problems. I don't know what happened. But I told them they took too long to repair my stuff. And so I got to do out. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, tonight's show. I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm just distracted because this internet stuff's been just throwing me for a loop. Anyway, tonight's show is What the Fuck Wednesday. We used to do this on Tuesdays. What the Fuck Wednesday is the relationship advice live stream that we do every week. Well, we try to do it every week. And people send in their questions in advance. So those of you who are coming and thinking that you're going to ask a question and get it answered tonight, that's not going to happen. You got to, Shay will probably put in the chat room what the chat stream here, what the procedure is. But basically, what you do is go to Debsterism.com, which is at the bottom of the screen here, and you'll see a tab on the nav bar that says Get Advice. Click that, just fill out the form and press send. It's that easy. Let's see, what did she say? I missed something. No, you don't have 50 questions. You out your mind. Ash, what you been smoking, girl? No, you got 25. I know I'm going to have to squeeze in another show, though, because I have a column that I didn't get to do because the internet went down that week. So it's already done. I'll just have to figure out an extra day to do it. But no, today you only have 25. Thank God, because I would perish here in this heat. All right, you guys ready? Let's get going. Why is this light bluish? This is so bizarre. Okay. Color looks off to me. Yes. Just one time. Okay, here we go. Question number 1 of 25. This is from a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group. She's African American. The male in question is 42 to 49, and he's Asian. The subject of the issue is, should I apologize? Dear Deb, years ago, I developed a friendship with an older man in a small community doing my part-time job. He helped me move and was protective of me whenever I was a victim of harassment. But I was also the only Black girl, and I had my fair share of fascination/rejection from others and constant drama, which was also a consequence of me having no boundaries. I had to go back to my home country urgently and say goodbye abruptly. I promised I'd come back, and so I did 2 years later. But I also grew from this and learned about boundaries. Before I came back, we would keep in touch every couple of months, and it was nice having news about each other. But I also knew he was still close with some of the people who hurt me. One day he sent me an image of him completely drunk for his farewell party from our former workplace, and I answered as a joke, how scary. He didn't take it very well without truly addressing it and proceeded to handle it with a silent treatment. I let it go because I wasn't sure I wanted to rekindle our friendship exactly like before. So once I came back, I decided it would be good for me to get to know other people and experience other things. I thought that eventually we may reconnect at the right timing. I sent him a couple of messages the last 2 years whenever I was around the place we used to hang out. His replies were polite, distant, but almost bitter, as if I did him wrong or something. A friend told me it sounds as if he's holding a grudge against me. I can't help but find his behavior ridiculous and an overreaction to me not putting up with anything unless there's a clear reason. But also, should I apologize or just silently let it go? How do I handle people who deal with conflict through the silent treatment or holding silent grudges? Not rekindle our friendship makes me sad, but maybe it's for the best. I just wonder if I'm being a good friend and ponder about sending him an apology for hurting him unintentionally. I'm going to tell you this. Fuck that motherfucker. The number one thing is you in the 28 to 34 age group, he's 42 to 49. So he's got, 10, 15 years on you age-wise. He's supposed to be more mature than that. Why would you send somebody a picture of you falling down, stupid, passed out, stupid looking drunk, and then expect him to be happy about it? I think your response was appropriate to say how scary, because it was scary for him to think that that was an appropriate thing to send to you. When you haven't seen him for whatever time that you've been gone, he gonna send you some stupid ass picture like that? You lucky. I mean, he was lucky that it was only you saying how scary, because that's mild compared to what he would have got from me. Sending me some pictures of you falling down, vomiting, drunk. What's wrong with you? I don't want to see that shit. Oh, he would have got something like that from me. Now, see, you don't want to apologize because you don't know what the issue is. So you're just going to go in there with a blanket apology? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to refer to your boundaries and just give them the middle finger and go on with your life, because you don't have time for old men who want to pout and act like toddlers. You don't have time for that. So, I mean, I'm really kind of even upset that you wasted your time thinking about this crap enough to write me this letter. Really. Because this should have been something that went in one ear and out the other. I mean, he was drunk in the picture. It was stupid to send. He was like, what is he, a frat boy in college? You know what I mean? It's just like an ignorant thing to do. So I wouldn't be bothered about him and just let him go on about his business. He's stupid. That's what I mean, girl, no. Question number 2. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's African American from Columbus, Ohio. Summary of issue: how do I feel better about being single and stop putting pressure on myself? I've been single my whole life despite having 3 situationships in the last year and a half, but nothing ever came of them for different reasons. Well, no, because they were situationships, so yeah. I will say that I have learned that I need to set boundaries and not be a pushover from these experiences. It's just now I'm feeling insecure because I'm not in a relationship. I'm regularly hearing about how other women I know are getting engaged, married, and having children. And I know that's normal and I'm happy for them. I just don't feel happy about it because there are things I need to do before dating again. I'm looking for a new job to save money and move out of my parents' house. I had to quit my job last year very suddenly, and I'm a caregiver for my mom while my dad works, so I just feel stuck at home until I can move out and socialize like a normal adult. I'm also trying to lose weight to feel more confident in my body. I have multiple medical problems, including a minor disability, which has impacted my self-esteem. I know that I can manage my conditions, but they won't go away, so I figure the weight loss will help my health going forward, and I'll feel better in the process. I know once these things happen, it'll be easier for me to date. I won't have to worry about my parents. I'll have more privacy, and I'll feel more body positive. But I'm still feeling pressure to date from my family, societal expectations, and ultimately myself. Like I said, I've been single my whole life, and you'd think I'd be more comfortable with it by now, but I'm not, and I hate it. I want to change my life, and I'm working on it one day at a time with different things. How could I feel better about being single after so long? Because at this point, I just feel so far behind. Behind what? Getting your heart broken? Getting cheated on, lied to, gamed on, used? STDs? You feel so far behind that? Because that's what your peers are dealing with. Don't you hear this advice column? Look at all the advice columns all over the internet. Don't have to be here. That's what your peers are dealing with. Now, you have a choice. Either you can continue to berate yourself because you don't have some dusty knick-knack in your life messing it up, or you can look at the fact that you have a clean slate, all the freedom in the world except for your parents, which I'm going to tell you in a minute how to get some help with that. and you can do whatever it is that you want to do. While your mother's sleeping and stuff, you can put on some videos. They have great exercise channels right here on YouTube. Put your exercise clothes and go to work. Get you some dumbbells and stuff and make it happen. Jump around and do your get your cardio going and lose that body fat. Do your push-ups, do your squats, do your lunges, do your walking lunges. Do stuff to get yourself, stop sitting on your ass and get yourself up and start doing stuff. Okay, there's no reason for you to be this young and be out of shape and having all these issues. So when people are young like you and they have all this stuff going on and they overweight and all this stuff, it's a problem. It's in spite of, unless you have like some serious emotional like PTSD and trauma and stuff like that, then you hiding behind the fat. It's just laziness and bad eating. That's what it is. Laziness is lack of exercise, and the poor eating is also a choice. So once you stop choosing to do stuff like that and treat yourself that way, you'll be fine. The fat will melt off, you get muscle, you look good. But it's a decision that you have to make. You can't just sit around writing me letters and talking about it. You got to get off your ass and do something. Now, as far as this thing about your mother and being her caregiver and stuff, call social services and look into getting respite care. You need respite. No way somebody your age should be stuck at home with taking care of your mother all the damn time. You get some respite so you can get a situation so you can start making moves to get up out of there. You're too young for this. Whatever happened with her, or she didn't take care of herself and now she's in a bad way and stuff, that's her fault. That's not anything for you to give your life up over. People be smoking, drinking, eating bad, not exercising, not taking care of themselves, just, doing D and all kind of stuff like that. And then they get older and they be all fucked up and they want their kids to sacrifice their life and time and fun to take care of them. Hell no. You get her somebody from in-home support services. Your daddy might have to help pay for it. That's good. And you move out and you go on with your life. That's what you do. But start looking into it so you can figure out how to make that happen. But that's what you're going to do. Okay? This is no excuse for you to be living like this and thinking about, some dusty-ass man. You think about you. All the shit you got going on and you sitting up here worrying about some man. Have you lost your mind? You need somebody to kick your ass right quick, and I hope I just did it. My goodness. Let's move on to question number 3. This is a young man in the 28 to 34 age group. He's Caucasian from Tucson, Arizona. The female is 28 to 34 as well, and she's also white. Okay, summary of issue. My girlfriend no longer finds me attractive after a body transformation. How do we discuss this? What happened? When I turned 30, I decided to go to the gym for the first time in my life. Had a bit of an early midlife crisis, I think, and wanted to get in shape before I was too old to give it a try. I figured that when I'm old, I can look back and know I was fit and strong once upon a time kind of thing. That's true. Before that, I had what she described as a nerdy body. Had long, scruffy hair, small shoulders, and a bit of weight around my midsection. I wasn't particularly macho in the traditional sense, but I was her type. In the 2 years since I've started training, I have physically changed a lot. I also have a lot more muscle definition and have been intentionally changing my diet and lifestyle to lose fat. I have been successful in what I wanted to achieve. But today she mentioned how she is struggling with the changes. I no longer look anything like the person she fell in love with. I agree with her and also understand it puts me in a strange place. If I had gotten excessively fat and she was finding me unattractive, I would understand, as we would know being overweight is not a great thing for your health. I've gone the opposite way and have gained muscle, and she says she doesn't find me attractive anymore. Well, you know what? It's 800 bitches to replace her ass. I mean, you wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but let me just sum this right up right quick. You're doing this because this was a goal for you. She's feeling threatened because you look good now. That's all that is. She's insecure and she's jealous. She's feeling like she's going to be jealous. She wants you to be like you were, out of shape, long hair, shaggy looking, scruffy looking, dirty, no body having, no muscle having, looking weird dude. And she can feel secure because she know nobody else wants you but her. Okay, but now you look like something. You look attractive. You look like a man that another woman is going to give a second glance to, and it's bothering her. That's all this is. Now you have a choice to make. I mean, it's nice that you think about her feelings. Don't get me wrong. Okay, let me jump back and say that because that is a thing. But in the grand scheme of things in relationships, What you love is the person. We can't get too stuck on the outside too much. You know why? Because things happen. People age, their body changes. Women have children, their body changes. People get cancer and other kind of debilitating diseases, their body changes. So in every one of those situations, people get in car accidents and stuff, their body changes. In every one of those situations, are you going to stop loving that person and not want to be with them and say, well, I'm not attracted to you anymore because their body changed? You need to ask her that and reframe her thinking, because flip that around on her. So say, like, oh, say if you had cancer and had to get a mastectomy, it would be all right for me to say I'm not attracted to you anymore, that you're not the same woman I fell in love with. If you have babies and you get like what they call it, a fupa, and stretch marks and stuff and saggy boobs now, and I say I'm not attracted to you anymore, is that going to be okay with you? Is that what relationships are built on? You need to, jam her ass up with some real hardcore facts right now. I mean, I would have said that right away. I'm surprised you didn't think of it. But I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I want you to go back and I want you to parrot those things to her and watch that Pikachu face on her. Like it just never dawned on her that the script could be flipped and she would be on the receiving end of this bullshit. So I'm not even going to go through the rest of it because it's just going to be more the same. You already outlined it, but you going through all your feelings and stuff. I don't like to do all of that. Just give me the Cliff Notes version and I will go and give you the answer. But that's going to be your answer. You're going to jam her up and ask her those 3 questions and then tell her if she can't deal with you and your goals in the way that you are, then it's time for the relationship to end. Because one thing you're not going to do is go back to what you were to satisfy her. And make sure that's very clear so she understands that. You either get with the program or you get the fuck out. Those are your 2 choices. There's no C here. Question number 4. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group from El Paso, Texas. Summary of issue. What do girls want to hear? Hey guys, I'm not having any luck with online dating. You think? Girls just aren't responding. They're ditching me. I even say some of the most innocent stuff and girls still ditch me. What the heck? For instance, I told one girl that we had the same thing in common and she blocked my Snapchat after. 2 girls have done that already. I guess women don't care about mutual interests or want to hear about it. But isn't that the only reason some of us even find a partner? Because of shared mutual interests? No, sir, that's not it at all. Or maybe for a real girl, they don't care. They want to hear something more. Something else that I'm bleeding to know what exactly a girl wants to hear. Also, can you tell me if you think more attractive males actually make the girl lust after them to the point where it might not matter what they say? I'm wondering what y'all ladies can give me advice-wise as to a word-by-word script what I should be telling these women on these dating apps. We're not going to do that. Like, do I ask how they're doing? How are you? Hey, HRU. No, you don't do that. HRU, I know you in the 18 to 21 age group and you stupid, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't do that. If you're going to talk to a young lady, talk to her. Use real words and use the fucking phone. You guys in these texts is just stupid. Nobody feel like texting you all the damn time. You don't text somebody to try to start a relationship. If you're supposed to be the man, then stand up and be one. That means pick up the phone and have a fucking conversation. Women like to hear you got a deep voice. Girl, wait. Okay, on Netflix. King the Land, Juno Lee from 2 p.m. That boy, I don't know what kind of voice he has, but it's panty dropping. That's all I'm going to say. And so he gets to talking all low and slow. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So women like to hear men's voices. That's what I detoured to say all that. We like to hear your voices. Women, the majority of women are very auditory. A lot of them are visual too, but we hear stuff. That's why we can tell by the way a baby's crying what's wrong with it, what it wants, what the problem is. We can tell by the tone of your voice what's going on with you, by the way you talk, the way you breathe. Women are very auditory. I think it's kind of a survival mechanism. And so when we want to hear you talking, we want to hear your voice. We don't want to see an endless wall of fucking text and you never call. So you already starting off wrong, okay? You doing all that. Okay, let's go on and see what else you messed up. Okay, should I Google some jokes and try to make jokes with them? I really don't know what to say, honestly. I'm kind of a quiet person. I don't talk a lot. I just want a relationship to happen. That's about it. It's not going to happen unless you do some work. First of all, sir, you only 18 to 21, so I'm gonna be a little bit easy on you, but not really, because you trying to date. That means you trying to do grown up things with a kiddie attitude. That's not gonna work. Okay, you're gonna be doing grown up stuff. You got to have a grown up mentality. That means you stop calling young ladies girls. You call them young ladies, because that's what they are. And you approach them in a way that makes some sense with conversation, not with lines, not with stupid, tired jokes that you Googled, and not with texting, which sounds in like some kind of acronyms and shit. Nobody want to be looking at that. After you have a relationship established, you can definitely use texting. But you don't use texting to start off stuff. You use the phone, okay? Or you do in-person dates. Preferably a combination of the two. Your woman's got to build an attraction to you. She needs to see you in real life. She needs to read your facial expressions. She needs to play footsie with you. She needs to hold your hand. She needs to have you wrap your arm around her. She needs to sit nose to nose with you and breathe the same air you do, and it builds intimacy. That's what she needs to get shit going. You can't do that by texting her to death. Okay, I'm just shocked that none of these dating expert people have told you dudes this. You cannot text a woman and think that's going to be like a sufficient way to launch a relationship or maintain it. It doesn't work. Okay, now, the unknown here is, you say you talk about what you guys had in common or whatever. I don't know how you launching these conversations, if it's by text and, what you're saying is talking, but it's really texting. They think you stupid. And so they just block you because it's like, he just going to text me to death. He's not going to ask me out. He don't have nothing else to talk about. Just ask me stupid questions. So I'm really thinking kind of, you might want a relationship, but I don't understand why, since you don't have no conversation and you don't even know how to talk to anybody. What kind of relationship do you expect to have? So you need to give this some thought and do another year or two of growing up, and then you might be ready to date. But right now, I don't think you are. Question number 5. This is a young lady in the 21 to 27 age group. She's Asian from Los Angeles, California. The male in question is 22 to 27, and he's white. Okay. Summary of issue. My boyfriend broke the birthday gift I gave him and then didn't apologize. I feel so hurt that I spent money on him and it's not even appreciated. Hi, Deb. Me and my boyfriend got into a huge argument this morning because I was telling him I felt sad. After he got mad at me for feeling lonely in the relationship, instead of hugging me / comforting me, he left our apartment. He then comes back still in the range and slams the $300 cologne. Well, I'm choking on the $300 part. $300 cologne I just bought for him a couple of weeks ago into my bathroom counter. I spent the very last money I had on that cologne, and for him to just slam it while we were in an argument breaks my heart, especially because I was coming from a sad place and was just asking him for a little affection. How do I stop caring about the cologne he dropped? All I keep thinking about is why did he do that knowing that was the last of the money I had? Okay, I'm about to ream you. First of all, you stupid. You stupid. You don't ever spend $300 on some motherfucker you not married to. Okay? Even married. I mean, I did, but you know what? It was a leather jacket. That was the highest price gift I ever got him. It was a leather jacket, but it was on sale. It was like $450 or something. And it was on sale for like 100 and something. So, I mean, with tax and everything out the door was less than $200. Okay? And I was married to him and we had a kid. So you spending $300 on some boyfriend and it's the last money you had, you lost your damn mind. Then, I was sad and I asked for affection. I want you to understand one thing right here. If you in a relationship with some man and you call yourself loving him, you sleeping with him and all that stuff, and you have to ask him for affection, get rid of that motherfucker because he's not about you at all. He's just there for what he can get out of you. Some booty, a place to stay, some food, money, $300 colognes that he don't even care about. It's about what he's getting from you. And you, unfortunately, don't understand that. I hope you will after you hear this response. I want you to go to your house. If he has a key to your house, you get the key back and you get rid of this fool. Never should a woman have to beg her man for affection when she's not feeling good. for a pat on the back, a quick hug, a little smoochy moochy, something to try to, show her that he gives a shit about her. You have to beg for it, and that's the best that you got, and you still want to call him your boyfriend? You've lost your mind, little girl. Get rid of this idiot. Oh my God, this is just like unbelievable. I kind of feel sorry for her though, because when they're young like this, and nobody's telling them this kind of stuff. Nobody's telling her that this is not love. She's sacrificing herself, her money, all her resources for some man that's just a knucklehead. This is sad. Let's move on to question number 6. We got 25 questions tonight. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Portland. Summary of the issue: how do I regain confidence after a breakup at the age of 31? 31? So I just got dumped less than a month ago by my boyfriend after 7 years together. He didn't complain about anything, but he did say that he wanted to do other things. That's a complaint in the real world. He kept saying I am beautiful and that I will have no issue getting a new love interest. I find that hard to believe, though. I look back at the pictures from when I first met him, and I look so tired and old in comparison. I have bags under my eyes and my hair is dull. I also have an illness that makes it not possible for me to exercise, so I'm severely out of shape. Not overweight, I just look like a blob. I'm exhausted most of the time. That means you don't have any muscle mass. I'm exhausted most of the time because of work, but I also think men are not interested in women my age. If only 31? This has been a huge blow to my self-esteem. How can I start feeling better? I don't see myself dating anytime soon, but I do want to feel attractive again. Any advice or words of encouragement would be appreciated. Okay, exercise. What does that mean? Because you can do body weight exercise. You don't have to go to a gym and go all out with the machines and all that stuff. You can do body weight exercise. Sit your ass in a chair and stand back up. That's a squat. Put your hands on the kitchen counter, put your feet up and do some push-ups, counter push-ups. What you want to do is start regaining your muscle mass. That's what you're losing. And as you lose more and more muscle mass, you will get more tired because your body has nothing to hold itself together. Your joints, your muscles, your tissues, and your organs require muscles to hold them in place where they're supposed to be. You have to move your body. I don't know what kind of illness you think you got that you can't do that. If you're going to work and you're keeping up a job, then you can do what I'm saying. Look on the internet for body weight exercises and get busy. Okay? Do something with yourself. The second thing is, you think you look this bad and that nobody's interested in you and all this kind of stuff. Please explain to me why you think then that this man would want to stay with you. You don't even think that you're worth staying with. So why should he? Did you hear your letter? Did you really hear what you're saying here? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just reiterating what you said. You sound so down on yourself. Bags, your hair is dull. I mean, you look like a blob. You got illnesses and all. You're exhausted all the time and stuff like that. What is it that you would be offering someone in a relationship? You need to get yourself together first. Then you can worry about some man. Right now, you should be turning all your energies into fixing these issues that you have. Change your diet and get you some omega-3s vitamins and start, or eat flaxseed and salmon and stuff like that. Salmon oil is a good one, krill oil or whatever, and stuff so you can get your hair together. Eat nuts, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts. Those are all good sources of it. And chia seeds and flax seeds, all great. They'll get your skin together. They'll get your hair together. That's why my hair looks, even as old as I am, I still eat. I eat well, so my body is well nourished. You have to do that if you want to look like something, into your 80s and 90s. So those are my tips for you. Look for some body weight exercises, beginner exercise routine, something like that, and then get your ass out of that chair and off the couch. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. and start doing something to make yourself better. Question number 7. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Pensacola, Florida. Summary of issue. I just bought my first house, but now my grandfather, who is 88 years old, wants to move in with me. Oh, hell no. Up until a few weeks ago, I lived with my parents my whole life. Both my maternal grandparents have lived in our house in the finished basement for the past 15 years. And while they're both able to walk and move around, they're still getting older. They're in their 80s. And my mom's been the one cooking for them in recent years. After I finished school a few years ago, I was determined to move out when I buy a house. I landed a great remote job and had a great savings, but as much as I love not having to have big expenses, I really wanted to get out of this house. I love my family, but I can't stand the lack of privacy, the constant judgment and nagging, and the fact that both of my parents and my grandparents each have their own marital issues. Finally, after looking into the housing market, I was able to land a nice townhouse just 15 minutes away from my parents. Oh, that's too close. What was you doing? My parents, you're supposed to be 15 hours from them. You work remote. You could have moved to another state, the other side of the country. You messed up. I can already tell this is not going to end well. My parents have been very helpful in the moving process, including getting supplies and doing light renovations. They've been a bit assertive on what they would like to change, but at the end of the day, it's my house, so it's my choice. And of course, my grandparents also paid a brief visit just to see the house. I haven't moved in yet. Today, my mother told me that my grandfather wants to move in with me due to his issues with my grandmother and how he hates the conditions at my parents' house. I'm pretty sure my mom is also tired of my grandfather nagging her about certain things all the time as well. I don't know how to feel about this. I love my grandfather, but I don't know how I would feel living with an 88-year-old roommate that I would have to cook for. My mom said that she would come by daily to help out with any meal, but then it just feels like I'm not getting the privacy that I wanted if my grandfather's just going to be lurking around and my mom is going to be over every day. That being said, I feel like it would be an absolute horrible grandson if I told my mother and my grandfather that I want him to move in with me. He helped raise me in my youth, so fucking what? Taking me to school and watching over me when my parents worked. That's what grandparents are for. You didn't ask him to do that. That's what he was supposed to do. I admit I haven't been spending as much time with him as I used to due to my job and outings with friends, but I still don't know how I could possibly say no to him, especially considering how he's wanted to move in with me. And my mom seems to be on board with that too. What can I do to deal with this situation, since either way, it'll be really bad. I'll feel really bad. You're not going to feel bad. You're going to feel good. What you're going to do is sit your whole family down, and you're going to say, you know what? Nobody's moving in with me unless it's a woman that I'm sleeping with. Now, you need to say it like that because you need to shock and wake them the fuck up so they understand, oh, this is a young man. He wants privacy. He wants to start living his life, and it's not going to be dragging us along with. You need to say it just like that. Okay, that's how you need to say it. I'm going to be dating. I'm going to be bringing women to my house. And one thing I don't want to do is be hearing anybody complain about it or asking me any questions or trying to control what I do. That's why I'm moving out. I don't want to be around you every day. I don't want to see you coming in cooking. And I don't want to cook for him and take care of some old man. That's your job. That's your parents. You do it. When I move out, I will invite you over. Don't be showing up at my house unannounced because I'm not going to let you in. And, I'll do the same to you. If you want to see me, then extend an invitation and I'll do the same. But as of the moment that I move out, I'm starting my own life. It'll be separate from you. So you guys need to get used to that. I'm not going to be, you not moving in with me. Just get that out of your head. If you don't want to be with your wife, then you need to move into an old folks home or something like that. And you can live there, get a single room there and do that. But you're not moving in with me. So don't think you're going to escape to my house and burden me with taking care of you. You're the reason I'm leaving. Now, if it were me, that's what they would get. And I'm telling you, you need to lead with that sentence I told you because you need to shock the fuck out of them and wake them up. They're in some kind of thing where they still think that you lived there your whole life, that you're still 12 years old. You need to let them know what time it really is, okay? Yes, honey. This poor child, he don't have no spine. You better fucking get one. Because otherwise, your friend's going to be trying to move in with you, because they mad at their girlfriend or they want to escape their parents. And then it's going to be a whole thing. You better start putting your boundaries in place now. Nobody's living with me if I'm not fucking them. Make sure everybody understands that. Okay? That's what you need to tell your parents. Question number 8. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group of mixed racial heritage from London. Summary of issue. How do you deal with a friend of your boyfriend's that you can't stand? I'm in a relationship for about 6 months. I met all my friends of my boyfriend. I get along with almost all of them. However, he has one friend, a woman, he is pretty close with, but I just really can't stand her. She is annoying and bossy. Sometimes she acts like I don't even exist. She is in a long-term relationship, so I'm not jealous, but it sucks to be around with her while I don't like her at all. The biggest problem is that she, my boyfriend, and other friends are roommates. So whenever I'm at his place, she's there too, and I can't avoid her. So any advice on how to deal with this? Yes, get a new boyfriend. How hard is this? You only been with him for a few months. It's not like, y'all engaged or he your baby daddy or nothing. So, I mean, he's just some motherfucker you know for less than a year. What's the big deal? See, my thing is this. Okay, you and me and my husband, we had some change, but you know what he did? He had a female friend that, I told y'all about that story about how she tried to flash him in our house and stuff. She tried to flash him. We weren't married yet then. But he tried to flash him. And I was like, oh, he told me what happened and how he kicked her out and stuff. So, I mean, he handled that himself. But you have a female, he has a female friend that he is actually a roommate, actually. And you go there, which is her house, where she lives, and then you want to complain about you don't like her. And so, all this stuff. What you have to do is you the intruder. That's her spot, and that's where his spot too. So you don't like what's going on in their spot, then you don't take your ass to their spot. That's it, and that's all. So either you want to stay dealing with him, he comes to your house and you don't never go over to his house anymore, or you get a new boyfriend that doesn't have a bitch ass roommate. There you go. That's your two answers, your two choices. Question number 9. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Plano, Texas. The male is in the 35 to 41 age group. Summary of issue. We bought my boyfriend's family house and are having issues with his 3 siblings, treating it like a storage unit and walking right in. I'm not sure what to do. Me and my boyfriend bought his parents' house at a discount. Part of his family was mad that they gave us the offer and not them. The other half of the family are still treating it like it's their parents' house. For example, his younger brother randomly let himself in at 2 a.m. after partying and then stayed in his room for a few days. The younger sister will also do the same. Whenever she visits, she usually doesn't announce it and just lets herself in and stays in her old room. A lot of everyone's stuff is still in their room since we haven't really had time to start the remodeling. I spoke with my boyfriend about us needing to clear the rooms, and he agreed and let his siblings know that they had to start removing their items. They were very mad, specifically his older sister, and said, what's the point of keeping the house in the family if we can't keep our stuff? And everyone agreed with her. That was a couple of weeks ago, and nothing has changed. I really don't want to start anything because I'm so happy to have a house now, and I really enjoy them coming over for the most part, but the house doesn't feel like ours. By the way, his siblings are 25, 27, and 40. Oh my God, these are not even teenagers, some old fuckers. What you do is you send them all a certified letter and say, on such and such a date, we are hiring, what do they call them, people that come and clear stuff out? Haulers, movers and haulers, and they will be clearing out all of the rooms that are not, that, you guys used to occupy. If you don't come and get your things by then, they will be at the city dump. That's what you tell them in writing. Then you change the locks and you put in a security system that you don't give them the password to. They don't have keys to your house anymore because it's your house. They can't be letting themselves in because it's your house. It's not their parents' house anymore. So once you do all of that, then it'll be your house. But you guys haven't done anything. You haven't done anything to make this, to rectify the situation. So of course they're going to keep doing it because you let them do it. That shit would have happened when I bought the house that day. I would have changed all the locks and call some security system and put in all kind of cameras and lights and alarm bells and all kind of stuff and told them, you got 2 weeks to come and get your shit. Otherwise, I'm getting it hauled to the dump and burning it. And that's just going to be the way it is. I don't really give a fuck what you don't like about it because your ass ain't paying not a dime on this mortgage. So you don't get to have shit up in this house. And that's how I would tell them. Even if they was keeping stuff there, they should be paying storage fees because it's not your parents' house anymore. My parents made us get all our stuff out, though. The alternative, she says, well, you can't keep our stuff, then they can put their stuff in storage. But one thing it's not going to do is be at your house. So where they put it, they can go put it in the park, in the woods, rent a garage, rent a storage unit. You don't really give a fuck what they do to it, but it's not going to be at your house. That's all you have to let them know. And this is the day that the haulers are coming. You've received your legal notice. You get that return receipt requested, and there you go. So they can't say that they didn't know. That's the deal. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Lakewood, New Jersey. Salford, England. 2 places? Okay, let's see what she's talking about. Summary of issue. Am I overreacting by not allowing my 14-year-old brother in my house again after he tried to push me down the stairs and hurt my son? And he's still living? I'm not going to make a long story, but to start, I am 27 with a husband and 7-year-old son. We live abroad and visit my mom and my brother of 14 every year. Lately, the last 3 years, the visits have become not so fun anymore because of the behavior of my little brother. My brother pushed my son off the couch. He locked him in the closet, and last year hit me in front of my son and tried to push me off the stairs when I said something about it. Where was your husband to beat his ass? My son got scared of him. I am pregnant now, and my mom asked me if she could come over this summer, and I refused because my husband and I are done with the behavior of my brother, and I would like to have a safe and sound pregnancy. I've had a miscarriage before. My mom told me that I'm exaggerating and wanted us 3, me, my mom, and my brother, to talk on the phone. My brother said, well, sometimes I get annoyed, and then he hung up. My mom is now angry at me and tells me that I have no right to not let him into my house. The fuck? Your mother's tripping. We agreed on her not coming. I told her that she could come alone if she wanted to, but she doesn't want to. I feel sad and empty because I would love to have my mom with me during my pregnancy. My brother told my mom that when we come over, she only gives attention to my son, and that makes him jealous. But my son is only 7, and this has been going on since my son was 4 or 5 years old. We see each other max 2 weeks per year. She also calls my son every Saturday, and my brother spied on them and then said, why do you call him sweetheart? Why do you call him honey? I told my mom it's better not to call my son whenever my brother is home, because a few days later, my mom caught me crying and told me that my brother had kicked her. That's a pity, but that's her issue. But I don't know what to do, and I want to hear it. I'm truly exaggerating, if I'm truly exaggerating, by not allowing them at least until now in my house, since my son is scared to get beaten up again. And I also have another toddler of 3 who I don't want to have near my brother. Okay, first of all, let me get on your ass. You say this has been going on since your son was 4. That means he been dealing with this bullshit for 3 years, and you just kept bringing him in that situation so he could get abused for 3 years in a row? You a bitch. Okay, that's some fucked up shit that you did to your son. You should have done this the first time he did it. The first time he hurt your son, you should have banned his ass from your house and never went back there to protect your child. What kind of bitch ass mother are you? And you pregnant with another one and got a 3-year-old too? And you ain't protecting your kid like that? Something is wrong with you, lady. At least you finally getting a fucking clue. But this is something you should have done a long time ago. Letting your son get put in closets and shit like that every year. What kind of mother does that? But the thing about your mother is protecting of this vile child. Let her sit over there and get her ass kicked and beaten, and let her get pushed down the stairs a time or 2. That's what she needs, because she has no right to try to force you to put your kids and yourself, your pregnant self, in a vulnerable situation to be hurt or worse by her kid, because that's what she wants. Fuck her. Just keep her raggedy ass son in wherever you said you were, somewhere in New Jersey. And keep saying New Jersey, and don't come across the pond to your place. I don't know why you feeling sad. You ought to be thinking about how you protecting your kid and feeling happy. You stupid. I just can't deal with women like you. Question number 11. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Atlanta. That bitch pissed me off. You put my kid in a closet and watch how much of a fool I'ma act. Not only to the kid who did it, but the parent. I'm going to lose my mind on every goddamn body and don't give a fuck and probably will end up calling police. My child having PTSD from being locked in a closet. What kind of bullshit is that? Oh, female 20 to 34 from Atlanta. Summary of issue. What can I say to a coworker who's a few years younger than me to get him to leave me alone because I'm trying to work? This guy at my job keeps seeking me out and talking to me. He's not saying anything inappropriate, but he keeps visiting me to chat for a long time, and I'm trying to work. Other coworkers have noticed and commented on it. So, to me, because he's coming over to my cubicle so often and literally talks to no one else in the office, it's uncomfortable because no matter what I say, he's not reading any social cues that I'm busy or workplace etiquette cues either. He'll try to talk to me when I have my headphones on. Sound like he's like on the spectrum a little. That's what I'm suspicious of. How can I say in a professional way that I'm busy and I don't want to talk? I think having a Deb style blunt script I can memorize and say every time will help. My boss has noticed even without me saying anything to her and offered to say something to his boss, but I want to set a boundary with him first. Okay, well, that sound like an out that you should have took, but let us proceed with your Deb script. Okay, so he gonna come over to your desk the next time, and you're going to stop and say, "I need you to go back to your desk." And he's going to say, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm getting paid to work, not talk to you." And same when your end. We're getting paid to work. You shouldn't be here as much as you are. You need to go back to your desk, and we'll talk maybe once a day or something at break or something. But you cannot keep coming to my desk interrupting me. I'm trying to work. Okay, now. You should only have to say that one time, and anybody with some sense ought to know that. You're not getting paid to jaw jack. You're getting paid to produce work. Okay? That's what you're going to say. Now, by the time you say that one time and he comes back again, that's when you go to your boss and say, okay, he's not listening. So then they're going to, call him in and talk to him. Most likely what's going to happen is he's not going to listen. He's going to keep doing it anyway. He'll stop for a little while, then he'll bring it back up. So he's ultimately going to be fired. So this will become a moot point. But yeah, that's the sense I'm getting is that, he just doesn't get it. And it's not because, he's all into you or anything like that. I think the boy he's on the spectrum and he does not understand what the risks are here. So that's why you have to spell it out. Now, once you spell it out, then he can't say he didn't know. You see where I'm going with that? Question number 12. This is a female in the 21 to 28 age group from Brighton, England. Summary of issue. I think my boyfriend is trying to baby trap me. Oh. We're both just 22 and have nook whenever we can, especially camping because we don't live together, and I hate the car. He conveniently forgets protection, but we do it anyway. I usually take plan B. Why do you do it anyway? However, recently I got accepted to a doctorate program, which will cause us to be long distance for 2 years. He is conservative and wants to be the breadwinner, and although he's supportive, he made it clear he doesn't want me to go. So now after we do it, he says that he can't wait to get me pregnant and for us to have lots of kids together. He keeps saying how he's going to marry me if we accidentally get pregnant. Hence, him not wanting to be safe and discourage me from getting plan B last time we saw each other. I love him, but where should I go from here if I want to put my life first? It's called breakup land. Okay, you can see what his game is. I mean, you wrote this whole letter about it. So why would you stay with somebody who's trying to do that to you and just like burst your bubble and just ruin your life? You have things that you want to accomplish and stuff that's going to make you feel good, goals that you set for yourself, things that you want to achieve. And all he can think about is what he wants. And he's going to sacrifice everything that you want and everything about you to get it with no fucks given for what it is that you want. Don't you understand what he's telling you and what this means? I mean, you're reporting it, but it's like it's not sinking into you what's motivating him to do that. You're just looking at the baby part and not at how this guy is trying to fuck up your life, ruin your dreams, and make everything that you have on you, that you want to have happen, not happen. That you need to leave him alone. That's the bottom line. So when you go into your program and you leave for 2 years, you should break up now. But when you go for 2 years, don't talk to him, block his number, forget he even exists. So many times young girls fall into this trap. I saw it happen at campus. I mean, at least 100 girls in the sophomore year, couldn't finish because they got pregnant. And dude, like A students, I mean, like bright girls, but just dumb, naive. And they let them dudes clip their wings and make them go home with having some idiot's baby. Question number 13. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Wichita, Kansas. She's African American. The male in question is also the same age, and he's also black. Summary of issue. My kids are moving with their dad. Should I move too? My husband and I are divorcing after 10 years. We've been separated for a year now. He is in the military, and we're moving to a different state. Our 3 kids, 14, 12, and 9, 2 girls and a son, want to move with him. He just got a huge house, and the kids are excited to have their own room and more space since we live in a small apartment currently. I have no issue with that. He's an amazing dad. However, I'm torn if I should move out of state too. I would have to obviously find a job in my own place, but it's so expensive in Arizona compared to where I live now. I've never been away from my kids, so this is going to be a huge change. My lease is up in a month, so I'm torn if I should stay or just go and hope I find an affordable place and job there. Thanks, Deb, for any advice you had. No, your ass is going to stay right where you are, and that's why you're going to do this. You're going to stay where you are, and when they get there, you're going to put out feelers because, most jobs are online. So you can search for what's available in that area and submit your resumes, right? If you have an interview, most likely it's going to be on Zoom. So then if they want to meet you in person, they'll fly you in. You can also spend some time with, visiting with your kids or whatever. Then you fly your ass back home. If they make an offer, then you say, oh, guess what? I got an offer I'm going to move down there too. And in that time, see, now you got a job, right? So you can take your offer letter and get you an apartment in whatever Arizona and move. Then you can move so you can be closer to the kid. You guys can share custody of them and all of that. It'd be much more convenient. But just chasing after them just on the strength of they moving, you're not going to do that. You're going to stay right where you are and do this in a sensible and sane, logical way. You're not going to just jump up and be broke and just sitting there looking stupid with no job and no money. And then asking your ex to come because you stay there and all. Just don't even do that. Think this through and make a fucking plan, okay? Question number 14. This is a female in the 42 to 49 age group. She's African American from Toronto, Canada. Well, she's black. She might not be African American. Male, 42 to 49. Some of issue. My boyfriend wants to do sleepovers with his friends. Say what? Oh, Jesus. Okay. I am 49 and my boyfriend is 44 and we've been together for 10 years. He's very immature and depends on me for rent and living. Oh, and you stupid. Okay, he's immature, but you stupid. So, he has a job but has child support and then spends his paycheck on weed, video game memberships, cartoon figurines, and then likes to go out with his friends. And you allow that. That's why I say you stupid. He only gives me $100 per paycheck. That's because that's all you ask for. I work 2 jobs to support us. Ooh, damn, you dumb. If I ask him to do anything, he calls me lazy. I'm just about sick of all this. Just about? You should have been sick of this like the second week. And I fantasize about him moving out, but he can't because he can't afford to. He could. He could sell all them cartoon figurines and get up them video game memberships. The thing that is bugging me lately is he likes to have sleepovers with his friends. I get that if you want to have a bender once or twice a year with old buddies and stay someplace so you don't have to drive home, but this is twice a month. Interesting. All I know is I want some peace, and after 10 years, we should have it. Am I overreacting here? The sleepovers are a bit weird, right? Okay, y'all, what y'all think? I'm thinking either there's some booty busting going on or he got another woman. Which do you think it is? Anyone care to venture a guess? Where's your money? Booty busting or another woman? Because, he might really be with these dudes, but sleeping over? And he's 32 years old? Who does that? Who does that? Oh, no, he's not 32. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong letter. He is 44. She's 49, and this man is 44 years old, having sleepovers and buying video game memberships and smoking weed and buying cartoon figurines. I don't even know what to say. Because it's like, where they do that at? What kind of women would allow some nonsense like that? Let's move on to question number 15. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group. She's African American from Washington, D.C. Summary of issue. Is an intellectually incompatible relationship doomed? Absolutely. I'm 36 and I've been in an exclusive relationship with a 32-year-old man for almost a year and a half. Let's call him Frank for the sake of this letter. We don't live together. We're both emotionally mature. He's decent and kind, and he thinks the same of me. We've met each other's families, and we both liked and accepted by our respective future in-laws. I had high hopes at first. We are emotionally and physically compatible. But we diverge on the intellectual front and in certain major issues. For example, I am an avid reader. I have many varied interests and skills. I am passionate about my work. I am passionate about my hobbies. I strive for meaning and purpose in everything I do. Frank has no drive, no ambition. He sees his work as, quote, just a job, and his main interests are video games, tabletop gaming, and not much else. Okay. He once told me that he'd be happier if he didn't have to work at all, which to me is an alien way of thinking, and as being useful to my family and to society is essential to my well-being. Did I mention meaning and purpose? I don't know. You use a hell of a lot of words. We have dates and outings together, and oftentimes we are long and awkward silences where he seems perfectly content to just, I don't know, exist. And I am uncomfortable and bored, waiting for a deeper conversation or something, anything interesting. I don't think I can be in this relationship in the long term. I already feel lonely in this relationship. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of being in a relationship? Absolutely. Shall I A? Oh gosh, you got like multiple choice options here. A, bring up my concerns in the hopes of achieving a relationship that's satisfying to both of us. Or B, tough it out and keep doing my thing because it could be worse. Or C, emulate his way of life in the hopes that we'll get along better in the long run, which is basically life on casual mode, which is crushingly boring and lazy in my opinion. Or D, separate now before we're involved in an even deeper level and avoid complications and hurt later. My thing is D, because you dealing with somebody who's in his 30s. You talking about, do I bring up my stuff hoping that he's gonna change? Men don't change. The only time you could change a male is when they change a diaper when they're a baby. After that, they're responsible for their changing. And he's shown you after all these years, this year and a half you spent with him, who he is. You need to believe it. This is it. This is what you would get. More of the same of this. It's not going to get no better. It's not going to be no different. Now, if that's not what you want, which it doesn't sound like you do, I mean, it's like he's what I call a 70% man. He's got 70% of the what you would want, but the missing 30%, it overwhelms all that the other 70% to the point where you just want to just like toss him back like a fish that's not the right size. Just want to toss him back. So I would suggest that you sit down with Home Skillet and have a long conversation, explain this to him and tell him that, rather than go any further with this relationship, you're going to do so now because, you're looking for something more serious and long term, and you want to be in a relationship where you don't feel lonely and you don't feel like the person really doesn't have anything to say to you. You can't really argue with that because it's going to be true. I don't know what else to tell you. Question number 16. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group. He's Caucasian from Lincoln, Nebraska. Summary of issue. My girlfriend wants me to get a vasectomy. Let me start by saying we have been dating for 8 months or so, and things have been great. We are both 21. We had a talk about our future a few months ago where I expressed that I couldn't see myself having kids, but also I'm young, so things could change. She does want kids, which makes this weirder. We talked about the possibility of a vasectomy, and now it was reversible, but it simply isn't something I would want to do because I'm not entirely sure how reversible it is. She has on few occasions expressed her discomfort with taking birth control and all its risks, but is completely fine with the risk associated with a vasectomy. Anyways, on to the meat of this letter. This morning, she called me and started the call by asking me to remind her why I didn't want to get a vasectomy, and immediately I felt like this was a red flag. I explained to her that it's bothered me that she kept bringing this up, but she kept going about the negative side effects of birth control and how it would affect her body. At this point, I just came out and told her it was a red flag to me, and after a few minutes of arguing, me looking for other people that went through this, and reading her the opinions of other people in this situation, she came to the conclusion I just care about my own comfort more than hers and hung up. Now I'm worried that I might have overreacted, but also feel that she's trying to pressure me into something that could affect me for the rest of my life so that she can be comfortable in the short term. Am I in the wrong? And what should I do in this situation? You should get a new girlfriend. Why is this even a question? She wants you to, yeah, they say it's reversible, and I guess in some cases it is. But, there's always that chance that you're going to have major scar tissue because they have no way of knowing how your body's going to respond. They're not fortune tellers. Are you going to, get a bunch of scar tissue that makes that reversal part almost damn near impossible? What's going to happen? There's going to be some kind of, issue. So your shit don't work. I mean, I don't know about vasectomy risk, but I do know anytime there's a surgery and scar tissue has to form, there's always the risk that it's going to grow out of control and that you have to, they have to go in and do a second surgery to remove the scar tissue. This happens to people all the time. All the time. This is a common thing. So I would just tell her that one thing you're not going to do is do a vasectomy at 21, that if that's what she wants, she needs to go find somebody else. And that, you're done here. And it was been a great 8 months, but, you're not going to be dealing with somebody who's going to be hounding you like this. And, you don't really want to be bothered with screwing her no more because it's like she's taking all the fun out of it, which, I understand her concerns about the risks and everything, but, there's other kinds of birth control that she can use that has less risk. So she should be investigating those because whether she's with you or anybody else, she's going to have to use some birth control. That's just the way it is. Is she gonna try to get every dude that she get with, make him get a vasectomy? And you should ask her that. It's like, so when we break up, because don't say if, say when we break up, and you gonna get your next boyfriend, you gonna hound him to get a vasectomy too, or you gonna handle your business like a G? Because the one who doesn't want to get pregnant is you, so that means it's your responsibility. I'm not married to you, so I don't feel the need to be getting a vasectomy. You're not my wife. You're a mere girlfriend of 8 months. And that's what you need to remind her, and then you need to, boop, deuce out. Question number 17. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group. He says he's Greek from Riverside, California. Summary of issue. I'm going on a trip with my relatives in early August, but my girlfriend wants me to stay here. So it's been really hard for me to decide what to do. I don't know why. For some context, this trip was planned by my grandmother's 50th birthday back in 2020, but was delayed due to the virus. My grandmother, my family, and my mother's sisters and their families are going to Greece. It started off as my girlfriend just saying that she doesn't want me to go and was sad and upset about it. Obviously, that's fine, and I tried comforting her the best I could. I thought that would be the end of it. But the closer we're getting to the date where we leave, the pushier she's getting. My alarm bells start ringing when she said that she doesn't know what will happen if I'm not here. She'll be with her parents, but she says she can only talk to me. Her therapist will be away on semester for about a month. And I started feeling like shit about the whole thing. That's because you stupid. A couple of days went by. Then again, the same thing, saying that she doesn't know how it will affect our relationship if I leave and that things might never be the same. She doesn't know what she will do. But, oh my God, you getting played. So, boy, on the other hand, if I don't go, I will definitely make some of my closer relatives disappointed. I will break my mom's heart since I don't see her that often. And it feels like I'm disrespecting my grandmother for not going since her birthday. And everything is already paid, about $2,000 just for me. I have no idea what to do. I can't talk to my close friends because they will be biased, especially those that are friends of hers. So I wanted to ask you, since I listened to you on Twitch before, should I go on the trip or should I stay with my girlfriend? You're going to go. You're going to go. One thing, people only get 150th birthday. And it's all the way in a foreign country. You're going to have fun. All your relatives are going to be there. Fuck this little girl. She's just a mere girlfriend. Now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go back to her and you're going to say, look, I'm going on this trip. I don't know. You don't like it. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm going anyway. You trying to threaten me, talking about you don't know what you're going to do? Let me make this easy for you. We're going to break up before I leave. We're breaking up right now. So what you do is not going to be my problem. And as I don't have to think about you while I'm gone. I don't have to worry about you. And one thing I don't have to do is be listening to you whine and try to control me. That's what you need to tell her. And you need to tell her just like that with your face just blank and just raw. The reason is she's trying to play you. She's using guilt to manipulate you and fear. So this girl, I don't know what's wrong with her, what kind of personality disorder she's got, but it sounds rather narcissistic to me. And she's trying to play you. She's trying to manipulate you and control you to get out of you what she wants. You have to grow a spine, sir, and tell her no. Say, I tried to talk to you about it and all that stuff, but at this point, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm going on a trip. You're just going to get the fuck over it. If you don't want to get the fuck over it, then we can break up. Those are your two choices. Because one thing I'm not going to do is be bothered with you while I'm trying to deal with my family and celebrate a once-in-a-lifetime experience with my grandmother. So you don't rate. You're not my wife. You're not nobody to me. You're just a mere girlfriend. You just stay in your envelope. That's what you need to tell her. And you get your little ass on that plane and you go celebrate your grandma's 50th birthday. Like you have some damn sense. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. Question number 18. This is a male in the 21 to 27 age group from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Summary of issue. Do I end my friendship with my girl best friend because she can't get on with my girlfriend? We've been friends for around 4 years. In the last 2 years, we became good friends with each other almost every day just to grab food and hang out, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, 5 months ago, I started dating Sarah. I've known her for years through work, and she told me herself that she thought I used to be with Chloe. I explained the situation, which initially was fine with, but then Chloe, the friend, began to act jealous of Sarah, my girlfriend, saying that Sarah's feelings might not be genuine and that Chloe was feeling upset and suicidal, that we weren't spending as much time together. Okay, so here we go. These are more of these emotionally manipulative bitches. You young men just seem to attract these weirdos. Sarah's upset with me because she says she doesn't want to be the reason why I'm not friends with Chloe anymore. Tell her that you don't have that kind of power. You ain't gonna be the reason why I do shit. Understand, you ain't running nothing here. This is my life. I make all the choices and I make all the decisions, and whatever I decide to do had nothing to do with you. You need to say that to her. She got herself all. These girls kill me. Am I mean? Because if I was a dude, that's just what I would have told her. Like, bitch, don't get and inflate yourself. You ain't got that kind of heat. I know we dealing with each other and all that kind of stuff, but you don't run shit in my world. Any decision I make is about what I want, not don't have shit to do with you. Back up and stay in your envelope. That's what I would have told her. So your girlfriend's feeling insecure. What do? I love my girlfriend, but if I stay friends with Chloe, it's gonna hurt Sarah. I care about the friendship, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend doesn't want me to stop being friends with Chloe because she doesn't really want her to be the reason why we're not friends. But equally, I know she will be left upset every time I message Chloe or go to meet her. Have any advice? Yes, dump both of them. Oh, my God. Okay, one of them's a whining little crybaby, and the other one's a jealous, controlling bitch that tries to, use the S word to make you feel guilty and run to her and drop the girlfriend. So you know what I would do? If I were you, I'd deuce out on both of them and go start from scratch. Because, once she said, well, I don't want to be the reason why, that shows she got an inflated opinion of herself. And she's thinking, so if you did stop being friends with Chloe, she going to feel like, it's because of her. And so it's going to be this chink in your relationship. So whatever decision you make is going to be bad for you. So get rid of both of them. And then you have a clean slate and you can just go start from scratch with somebody else without Chloe and without Sarah. That's my advice for you, sir. Because you're too young for this. You are too young for this drama. You're only in the 21 to 27 age group. Okay? You're too young for this bullshit. Get rid of both of them bitches. Question number 19. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Greensboro, North Carolina. Summary of issue. My stepfather creeps me out. Do I say something? Absolutely. My stepfather, let's call him Tom, has been in my life since I was 7. I'm 31 now. I've grown up. He's always been caring, but rather harsh father figure. I'm still cool about my biological father, but he lives out of the country. Tom has made me feel uncomfortable throughout my adulthood by certain remarks of the way he shows affection. He puts his hands on my waist in a way that makes me shudder, and I feel my body language closing off or tense. And you don't push his hands off of you or elbow him or kick him in the nuts or nothing. You don't do nothing. Even when he's greeting me, he kisses my face in a way I hate. I've rarely said anything to anyone about this because I don't know what I'd even be doing about it. Today was a little different because I was wearing a tank top with a button-up shirt over it, but the shirt was open. My mom had just left to run an errand. You should have went with her. And he was about to leave for work when he hugged me. He put his hands inside between my button-up and the tank top, and his hands basically rubbed around my waist. I hated it. Like nobody touched me like that except my boyfriend. I also don't like how he looks at me when I'm sure some of you know the way certain looks make you feel, like icky and wanting to hide. I'm not sure how to go about saying or doing anything about it, but I just needed to vent to someone who could perhaps understand. I couldn't imagine telling my mother and putting her through that. It's only been little things like that throughout the years, and I don't think he'd do anything more. I just don't even know how to approach it. And I'm sort of intimidated to say anything to his face. I'd appreciate any guidance or validation. At 31 years old, you intimidated by this old creepy motherfucker? See, that's why he's going to keep doing it, because you haven't said nothing. You said he's been doing this shit your whole adulthood, and you have not said one goddamn word to him, to your mother, to the police, to nobody. So he keeps doing it because he thinks that either you like it or it's, you too scared. Either one is getting him his jollies. He's excited. See, so this is the thing that you should do when men put their hands on you, that you back up and you push them away and say, keep your fucking hands off of me. Don't touch me, motherfucker. You say stuff like that to him. You put your hands around the waist of your goddamn wife, not me, motherfucker. Don't ever do that shit to me again. You done lost your fucking mind. You talk to him like that. But see, you haven't done that. You haven't pushed him away. You haven't stepped away. You haven't done anything. Nothing. You just sit there and take it. Which, since he keeps doing it and you still haven't said nothing at 31 even, it gives the impression that you're okay with it. Don't you understand that? All you girls, listen to this. You have to do something. You have to say something. You have to set a boundary. You have to defend yourself. You have to use your words. Sitting there at 31 years of age like a scared bunny rabbit or a 10-year-old girl is ridiculous. Your reaction is just utterly just crazy to me, that you're going to have this situation and this motherfucker, your mother's husband, and you just sitting there letting him do all this shit to you. Yes, what he's doing is inappropriate, but what you're doing by not responding is also inappropriate. You better think about this, what I just said, and stop just doing nothing. Do something. Say something. Slap his face, punch his ass, scratch him in the face, do something. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. Is it expected to be making out by the second date? Deb, I was stupid and tried online dating for the first time in ages. I matched with 2 guys I thought I might like until the one started laying these ground rules and expectations, like expecting to be making out by the second date and wanting basically a bed buddy that has, quote, potential for a relationship. Oh, he tried that tired line. Note, he didn't ask me anything about me, and when I asked him questions, he'd answer them and then continue prattling on about what he wants. Hence, I unmatched him. The thing is, I don't know this guy. I haven't met him in person. The other guy was telling about this encounter, and he said he doesn't agree with the other stuff, but would expect to be kissed by the second date. It feels like having expectations put on me by strangers I haven't even met. I don't like being told that they expect things from me of a physical nature when we haven't even set up a date and haven't laid eyes on them. What do you think what do you make of this behavior? Well, I mean, I've always said this, that the dudes online are just after some ass. So the fact that you admit that you were stupid and went online, I mean, what do you want from me? I've said this a zillion times. But yet here you go, putting yourself online and thinking it was gonna be magically different for you. Is that what you thought? That the dudes that you matched with wasn't gonna be horn dogs just after some ass? You was gonna be special and unique? Is that what you thought? So all you did was see that what I was telling you was true. And then you want to write a letter and say, well, what do you make of this behavior? I done already told you that this is what the behavior is. So I'm like, why are you wasting my time with this? You already knew that going in. That's why you admitted that you were stupid. Oh, girl, if you don't get your little ass off of online and stop dealing with these idiots. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Latina from San Antonio, Texas. Summary of issue. How do I tell my husband's grandmother to stop touching my pregnant belly? It seems easier said than done. I feel like I can't tell her no. Why not? That's your body. What would be a good way to go about this without making it into a big deal? I don't mind a hand here or there, but she rubs the heck out of my stomach and kisses it without even saying a word to me first. It makes me incredibly uncomfortable to the point where I even avoid interacting with her. So was y'all living in the same house or something? This is something for your husband to step up and do. You need to tell your grandmother to back the fuck off and stop groping me. It just makes me feel like, like a sexual assault or something. I don't like it. I don't want her touching my belly. I don't want her touching my body. I don't want her kissing on me. I want her to leave me alone and just let me be pregnant by myself. It's like she's not kissing the baby. The baby's inside. The baby don't know shit about all this. She's kissing my stomach. This is a part of my body. The only person who should be putting their lips there is you. So you need to just tell him he need to get his grandmother in check. Now you good, because I would have told her, what are you doing? She old and she probably don't understand. She was just thinking she's being loving. So you say, what you're doing right now is very rude. This is my body. I did not give you permission to touch it. You definitely don't need to be kissing on nothing like that, because the only person who kisses my body is my man, not you. So don't ever do that again. Okay, that's all you had to say. And she would have stopped, but you didn't say nothing. Again, another case of a woman just sitting there, just getting abused and mistreated, and you don't say shit. I don't understand you guys. And then you want to write me. Well, how do I say it? It's like, they just keep doing it. They just keep doing it. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to say. And you don't do shit. Question number 22. This is a female in the 28 to 30. I have a headache. These women tonight just give me a headache. My head is pounding. 28 to 34, she's white from London. Male, 28 to 34, he's Asian. Summary of issue. My boyfriend, 33, told me that marriage would give him stability and make him grow as a person. On the contrary, I don't want to get married unless I feel stability in each of us and in the relationship. It's been a bit complicated lately, so I would not get married before we figure ourselves out. We have been together for 7 years and living together for a bit more than that. A bit more than one, I'm sorry. He's from an Asian country and I'm from Europe. He has always been pressured by his family towards getting married and having children. We agreed about no kids. Marriage has been on the table, but as time has passed, it didn't get talked about anymore. Before living together, I even once told him I wouldn't marry him if he didn't go to therapy. I feel he does need it a lot because he lacks a lot of confidence and has obvious signs of trauma. He is a good man, but it creates problems for us. I'm obviously not perfect and trying to be better. I'm going to therapy myself. He once wanted to go back home and decided to stay, and it makes me the only reason he is here. Now he seems to be in a crisis again, questioning kids and marriage, and told me that marriage would give him stability and make him grow as a person. I don't get it. Can you help me understand how marriage can help if it truly would? No, it won't. What he wants to do is feel like he's got you now, and so you would have to step into this role of taking care of him, and he gets to feel like the big man on campus. And it's like, and the thing is, he might decide he wants to be, it might help him or whatever. But since he can't tell you in what ways, I mean, that's a question you should have asked him. Well, how is marriage going to make you better? Tell me specifically what kind of things would happen in the marriage that would make a change in your world. I need to understand this. But you didn't ask him that. You come asking me. Like I'm supposed to read his mind and I don't even know who the fuck he is. These are conversations that you should have had with the man you laying up next to every night. Now, he talking about he want to go back home. I would make sure that that happened promptly. Because you want to get married, go back and marry somebody from your country and you live over there. That's what you need to do. I don't see where, you have all these things, I don't want to have kids. We have to have this certain level of things, he's got trauma. And I mean, all these things you have, you say he's a good man, but then you listen all these things that have an overwhelming impact on a relationship and could just totally destroy it. So I'm not really feeling what you're talking about here. I don't see, when people need therapy and they have trauma and stuff, it comes out in the oddest ways and the relationships are always fucked up. So I don't understand what it is that you think that you're going to get from this man and why you stayed with him all these years. Send him back to his country and let him marry somebody over there. That's what he needs to do so he can grow up and be stable. Question number 23. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Vancouver, British Columbia. Summary of issue. Why do so many Zoomers want to be polyamorous lately? I don't know. What is it with the rise of this trend with people 18 to 25? So many of them want to have their cake and eat it too. It seems so selfish to me. In my opinion, 95% of people are not even emotionally mature enough to handle it, and it just seems like a way to ethically cheat. I feel like it would be a major hit to my self-esteem if my girlfriend even suggested it. Makes me feel like I'm not good enough. People are such weirdos for trying to normalize and encourage this kind of situation. With the amount of options women have on online dating apps, is always one side. Okay, another one that don't get it. Stupid men think quantity is quality. Because there's a bunch of horny dog, freak-ass men after women, you guys think that that's a good thing. We don't see that as a good thing. They are bothersome. They're a nuisance. They're annoying as hell, and they're weird. Some of them are even downright scary. But you don't even understand all that. You just looking at the sheer volume of men and like wow, women are having like a field day. No, 99% of them dudes are garbage. No woman wants them. That's why they online. They couldn't get nothing offline, so they trying their luck on the internet. So please lose that thinking. That is not the way that it is. Okay, that's just not the way that it is. Why are they into this? Because people are stupid. If you notice, young people are not like the young people of the old days. Like the young people mobilized. They fought like for the Vietnam War. They fought for civil rights. They fought for women's rights. They did stuff. They were movers. They were shakers. They were like politically active. These new people, these young people now, all they do is listen to what's online and read or look at TikToks and play video games. They have like the intellectual level of a pencil lead. And so you're asking me why they're monkey see, monkey do? Because they can't think their way out of a paper bag with both ends open. You're talking about a generation of followers, people who are on medications, people who complain about having anxiety and low self-esteem and insecurity. Those people are never going to be decisive leaders. None of them. So they just follow along like a pack like everybody else. And those of you who are in this Gen Z group and you listening to me talk about you, understand. This is what most people think about y'all. Y'all need to get your shit together. Okay? Stop being followers and learn how to fucking lead. Stop believing everything that somebody else says. Think for yourself some goddamn time. It's just annoying as hell. And it's depressing to see so many young people just ain't about nothing, don't do nothing, can't think. Can't think about nothing. Always want somebody to tell them the answer, tell them what's right, tell them what to think, what to believe. You want people to tell you everything. When do you ever think for yourself except about some dumb shit like this? And which you're really still not thinking, you're just following the leader on that as well. Oh my God. Let's move on. Let's talk about this. The next to last letter number 24. This is a young lady in the 35 to 44 age group. She's African American from Indiana. Summary of issue. Other moms don't like me and now it's hurting my son. I have been really struggling to make mom friends in the town we moved to 7 months ago. I hung out with a few and they just ghosted me, which was fine. I'm not for everyone. But now when I reach out to some, I'm just ignored. Feels like they've all decided behind my back to hate me, but I'm sure I'm just reading too much into it. Anyway, my son has a friend in his preschool class. Your son is only in preschool? Who he adores. We had play dates at his house once, and I thought it went okay. But we saw them out today, and my son wanted to say hi, but when we went up to them, his mom basically turned around and ran the other way. It was so cold and very obvious. They're having a birthday party for the boy next weekend. She invited everyone in the class group chat, and I RSVP'd that we would be there. My instinct now is to make up an excuse to politely cancel to spare the awkwardness. The only problem is that my son's birthday is in a few months, and he's kind of obsessed with birthday parties. He already talks about his all the time. So if nobody comes, it's going to hurt him. So should I cancel? Should I email her privately and apologize for whatever I might have done? Should I ignore it and just show up as if nothing happened? I should note that I'm 40, so I don't usually care if people don't like me. I have no time for mean girl shit. It's for my son. Please tell me your son is the problem. Your son is the problem. Don't you understand what's going on? You talked about yourself and you try to figure out what you did, but not one time did you address the possibility that your son is a demon. And that's why the other people don't want your son around their kid. Did you not ever think about that? That jumped out at me as soon as I was reading this. It's not you, it's him. And you are worried about his feelings and all this kind of stuff. What kind of little monkey do you have? Is he like the kind that wants to hurt kids? Is he that ADHD all over the place kind of kid? Is he the kind of kid that snatches things and doesn't share and yells and fights, pushes people? What kind of child do you have? So you politely left all of that out. You just glossed all over that. Most of you older mothers raise demon spawn children because you waited until your ass was ancient to have a fucking baby. So you spoil them. They're rotten, little rotten eggs, and then you bring them around other kids whose parents are more disciplined, and then your child is a destroyer of lives, and that's why people don't want to be around your kid. So you think about what I'm saying, and you go back and you analyze the behavior of your child and how you interact with your child. Do you ever tell your child, no, stop, get down, you're not going to do that? Stop, wait, put that back, clean that up. Do you ever tell your child stuff like that, or just let them run wild? If you think about what I said and the answer is, oh my God, she's right, that's the answer to why these people don't want to be bothered with you. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how you parent and your son. So think about that. I think I'm on the right track. Let's move on to the last question of today's show. The last question, my internet's going in and out again. Well, I'm going to be switching up. I have the, self-install kit. I'm going to be getting Xfinity. As soon as I figure out how to install it, this shit here is gone. So anyway, here's the last letter, question 25. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Black, out of New York State. The male in question is 28 to 34, and he's white. Summary of issue. My boyfriend is incredibly upset that I want to split expenses in half versus a percentage based on our income. So finding housing has become a nightmare. Sorry this is long, but I thought you would need a full view of the issue. I really don't. My boyfriend and I'm 28 and he's 30, have been together for just over a year. While I'm neutral on the necessity of living together before an engagement or marriage, he believes it's an important next step, so we started apartment hunting. Okay, this is the first mistake. Okay, you say you're neutral on it. That means you don't believe in it, so why are you doing it? Let's move on. My lease is up in October, and the owners are moving back in, so the timing works out. Mark currently lives in a studio place and spends about $1,800 a month on rent on a studio. I'm in a 2-bedroom plus a tiny office. I'm spending $4,000. $4,000 a month in rent? I must not be living right. I couldn't see that. Mark has a decent job and no problems covering bills with a little left over, but it would be a stretch for him to go up and rent too much more than what he's currently paying. I make, for context, roughly 5 times the amount that Mark does. Yes, I could pay more in rent than I do, but you could pay more than $5,000 and you $4,000 and you wouldn't want to? Girl, you need to buy you something. But I'm more interested in saving and eventually leaving this area, opening my own practice and buying a home, etc. Also, for context and background, right now, Mark and I split going out, and our activity's pretty 50-50. We take turns going out and planning dates. There's been no real conflicts. I probably choose more expensive places and activities when I'm planning and paying, but it's not been a problem. Mark scheduled a number of apartment viewings for us. It was super excited about it all, so I just let him take the lead. Blah, 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 blah. The whole first day was a series of luxury places sprawling all over some of the nicest neighborhoods in the city. The average rent on the places we saw was between $6,500 and $7,500. I didn't say anything while we were looking, but when we got back to my place that night, I asked Mark what the heck he was going through his mind with those prices. He said he picked his favorite places and neighborhoods first and figured I would mind upping my costs a little, but he had some options in the $5,500 to $60,000 range too that wouldn't be too noticeable increase in rent for me. I was super confused at this point and asked him to clarify how he expected us to be splitting rent because the math just wasn't working for me. That's right, you said that math ain't mathing. He looked at me like I'd asked the dumbest question in the world and said because he makes 20% of what I make, so he'd be contributing 20% of the cost. I told him, yeah, that ain't happening. I'm just summing up what she's talking about because she wrote a fucking novel. I told him if he wasn't comfortable splitting expenses evenly, we didn't have to make the decision to move in together. Tells much further on our relationship, and I could just get another place on my own. Now everything I suggested or say is met with coldness and sarcasm, like I told him I'm canceling his birthday or something. I get that he's looking at this from the perspective of what I can do, but just because I can doesn't mean I'm comfortable doing it. I'd understand if I personally wanted to upgrade into something that he couldn't afford, but it's not that important to me. Am I remarkably out of touch and unfair here? I'd rather not fight about this if there's a perspective I'm missing out on, but that just doesn't feel right to me. How do I rectify this? You don't move in with that slimy motherfucker. I know that's your man and everything else, but he just trying to pimp you. And you say I was super confused. That's when you're supposed to come. You don't be super confused. You commence to cussing people out. It's like, little bitch, you ain't gonna be spending my money. I don't know what the hell you thinking. You gonna find a place. You gonna stay where you are, and I'm gonna find a place for myself because I need an office so I can work at home, and I need an extra bedroom for my guests that come from out of town. And one thing I'm not going to do is be paying double the amount of rent so that you can still pay 20% and think that you're doing something. We're not going to do that. I'm not taking care of a man. That's not what that's not what I'm interested in doing. So you're going to have that kind of speech with him. And he continues to pout and stuff and say, well, you know what? Let's just break up then. Because one thing I'm not going to do is be bothered with a grown man running around with his lip poked out like a toddler. I'm not going to do that. You good, because he would have lost me on that day. As soon as he came out with that little shenanigan trick, I've been like, oh, no, you tripping. Oh, what is going on here? Why my chat is like way behind? But anyway, yeah, girlfriend, think about this. What just happened? What is he trying to do? He's just trying to spend your money. He's gonna look at neighbors and stuff that he likes, but you don't have this neighborhood money, home skillet. So you need to go look in the hood because that's all you could afford, and that's where you're gonna be. And I'm gonna be somewhere else where the rent is like high, but not anything I can't really afford. And you talking about opening your own practice, so you some kind of doctor or something, attorney, something, you doing something, therapist, something where you making you balling. So, just do what you said, stick to your plan, save your money, and then move out of that area and buy your home and, and go on with your life. I mean, I'm sure, quote, Mark is a decent fella, but this little stunt that he tried to pull right here, no, this ain't working for Deb. He would have to, be ousted from my life. I just can't deal with dudes who try to play them kind of games. So anyway, you guys, I have to apologize. I'm supposed to was do DNN this week. My family reunion is this weekend. Luckily, my cousin Joy called to tell me because I forgot, as you could tell, forgot all about it. And I had already paid my little money and everything because we had to pay, we getting T-shirts and all this old stuff here and, contribute to the food costs and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be all kind of folks. I'll take some pictures so I can show you guys when I get back in town. But so yeah, I'm taking off Friday and going over there, and then the reunion party is all Saturday and Sunday. So folks are flying in from all kind of places. It's gonna be all kind of folks. Unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it because some of my relatives I wouldn't associate with them except for the fact that we're related. You know what I mean? It's that kind of situation. So we'll see how that's gonna work. But I should be back on Sunday, and if I have enough energy, then I'll try to squeeze in the advice show that for the column that I had to miss because it had no internet. It's all ready to go. So it's just a matter of firing up the computer and start addressing the letters. So that's what we've got going on here now. And I'm glad to see everybody. By the time you see me the next time, I'll have different internet service that hopefully will be more consistent than this shit here. And it'll be all good and all gravy. So you guys enjoy yourself, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you possibly Sunday, but if not, then early next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.